Hi guys, this is Mariel Gardiner back with Accepting Therapy LLC, and this week I'm interviewing Valerie Hughes, who is one of our therapists here, and she is also one of my friends, which is cool. Hi Valerie.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? That was such a nice intro.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
try, we try.
I don't think anyone's ever introed me in in a Zoom video before.
Yes.
So an exciting new thing.
Yeah, this is definitely a different dynamic, but we're making it work.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go through some questions, get to know you a little bit better as a therapist, so clients and other people that, follow us can kind of see what we do behind the scenes and how we work.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So first off, why don't you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to join mental health and become a therapist?
So I had my own experiences with therapy that ended up being rather positive. And so it sort of happened that I was in therapy for the first time while I was also taking my very first psychology course. And then I realized that this is something that maybe I would like to do and pursued it. And now I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that's like the
how it
short
works.
version of that story.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's certainly a lot more complicated than that, but
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so now that you're practicing, what would you say your approach is to therapy?
So the technical language I would use to describe my approach is that I work from a psychodynamic, relational, cultural perspective or lens. I pull from other perspectives as well. But what that really means is that I find that the relationship is the most important part of therapy, thus the relational piece.
Sure.
I think that through all the research I've ever seen, the connection between therapist and client is the most important piece. And that goes across all kinds of therapies, from like behavioral therapies like CBT to like full-on psychodynamic. We get very Freudian, like psychoanalysis.
Yes.
So I think that for me is the most important part. After that, I believe that the world you live in influences the way you interact and how you feel about yourself. We don't live in little bubbles, even though lately it sort of feels that way.
Sure.
And then finally, I think that our histories and our relationships with others sort of create patterns in our lives. And I think through kind of self-examining those and coming alongside my clients, we sort of together find paths for change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That sounds
My
so
elevator
good.
pitch. Yeah.
And with that, who would your ideal client be?
So I have actually been thinking quite a bit about this question because I used to be like deeply offended when people would ask it. Because, right, like it's one of those, I guess, things for me that like there are times where the first time I meet a client, I'm like, oh, I don't really like this relationship feels funny. It doesn't work for me. And then that person and I build this like very beautiful relationship that feels really like meaningful, even for me as the therapist. And so I think that it's really hard to nail down one ideal client. Also, like academically, I think my like learning goals change over time. And some of that is like the kind of work I like to do does shift and change as I shift and change.
Yeah.
But lately I have been finding a lot of like joy in working with people who have been identified as problematic or abusive within their relationships. That has been a real area of like my own personal growth and like checking my own biases about those things, because I think as therapists, that is hard work because we've all been hurt. So to work with somebody who has been the hurter, though we've all been the person hurting other people, feels really challenging. And I've kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, I do appreciate that you have historically been someone that enjoys the challenging clients. And I think that's a great quality to have.
Thank you.
Constantly learning. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
matter of checking in with ourselves, right? If they don't change us, did we really do therapy?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the beauty in a lot of this work, is that we learn from our clients pretty much as they learn from us. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And next question, what would you say to a client who's maybe hesitant to reach out for therapy?
That we're nervous too. No, that's not helpful, I don't think. That we're just people who want to connect, and it's a matter of just finding somebody that you feel comfortable with. What I tell family and friends is, I it's very oversimplified, but I always tell people to just Google therapists near me,
Mm-hmm.
and then look through some practices, because especially in Chicago, there's so many practices, and see if there's somebody who seems interesting or like maybe you connect with. I typically recommend going to a group practice if it's your first time, because then you can, after a few sessions, if you don't feel connected to your therapist, you can ask for a different one, and then you know that they take your insurance.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but that's the other thing, is that you can ask for a different therapist, and that you can see somebody for just a few sessions. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't feel like it could be a safe relationship, then find a different therapist.
Yeah.
That is okay. And a good therapist will help you do that. So
Definitely. I agree. And to add to that, maybe, the idea that you don't have to be in this like really dark rock bottom kind of place either. You can seek out therapy for a number of reasons, and we're happy to help with a lot of different stuff, so always reach out, and we'll help navigate that
oh
relationship.
yeah, I think the idea that people like must need therapy is just like
Mhm.
incredibly stigmatizing. Like,
Yeah.
I go to therapy because I want to further explore my inner self, because I'm that kind of like therapy client. But also like, it doesn't have to just be for like solutions to problems. It can just be about getting to know yourself more deeply. And
Mhm.
honestly, in that regard too, I think that there are many paths towards like knowing yourself more. And I don't think that therapy is always the only, like, I certainly don't think it's the only one. Like, I know myself better because of yoga. I know
Sure.
myself better because of, I don't know, walking without my headphones in and listening to sounds around me. Like, I know more about myself from other areas. So some people are hesitant and think that they're doing their own growth in other ways, and they are. And I don't want to invalidate those things either.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Therapy is one vehicle, I guess.
Yeah.
And, coming to the end of our little video interview here, is there anything else that you would like your clients or, anyone watching this to know about you?
About me?
Yeah.
Uh, if you see me for therapy, sometimes you might meet my roommate's cat. She's not in here right now because I locked her out, but she sometimes shows up. So you get me and a little animal co-therapist.
Sure.
I don't know. That was the hardest question that you said. I was like, I don't know what I want clients to know about me. I don't know. What do people normally say?
I don't know. I would say that like I run and I like dogs,
Okay. I also run, but not because I like it, because I want to like expel some energy in my day. Um, and that's nice. I like to read.
Yeah.
I I don't know.
You're our book club founder.
Yeah, we've been a movie club this month. I like to watch RuPaul's Drag Race and eat cookies on my couch.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a human who has like other things going on and other interests and is on my own little adventure too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you are always someone that's pretty, authentic. So anyone that sees you in therapy will get to know you to some degree too.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the type of therapist that like keeps like myself as who I am separate from like my therapist self.
Sure.
It's impossible to do that, I think, but some people do it. I don't know. But not me. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
we got to get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for having me on your like little mini talk show.
I think
Therapy
that's the
talk
way that I'm
with
framing it. I don't
Mariel.
know. We'll see. But
Huh?
so far it's fun.
Can I do you now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe another time you can interview me. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.